Well, hello everyone. This is Jared here with Stampede Blue. This is your Indianapolis Colts post-game wrap, and the Colts won today at home and beat the Houston Texans. Final score 30-23. And the Colts won today because they played the ultimate team game, right? On both sides of the football, had guys step up and make huge plays, right? So for the Colts, obviously, offensively, Jacoby Brissett has to get player of the game. 26 for 39, 326 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, was only sacked one time. And then obviously, hats off to the Colts defense, who we talked about coming into this game that Deshaun Watson, DeAndre Hopkins, are going to get theirs. You just have to limit what happens outside of those two players, right? That said, Deshaun Watson, 23 for 34, 308 yards, a touchdown, 2 interceptions, and was sacked 3 times and hit a bunch. And really today, it's just like the Colts have been preaching since Frank Reich and Chris Ballard came around, that this is a team game. Everybody has to do their job. And arguably, through the first 3 quarters, this was the best the Colts have looked all season long, dating even back to last year during their stretch. The only kind of shortcomings today were that the Colts didn't really rely on Marlon Mack to move the chains for them. Marlon Mack today, for example, had 18 carries for 44 yards. So what I believe I saw was Houston lining up in cover one man defense, which leaves crossing routes open. And if you watch the post game stuff, Frank Reich really doesn't have a problem telling you exactly what they saw and what they went after. And all that really means is that the Texans defense was trying to limit T.Y. Hilton, which left guys like Zach Pascal wide open, which let Jacoby Brissett have a career day, right? That's like career high in probably completions, touchdowns, yards. Like he had a really good football game today. Obviously, no game's perfect. If you go back and you take some things back, you probably make some different decisions. That fourth quarter, for example, was questionable really on both sides of the ball. And then that brings me to my biggest point of this entire football game. When we were talking about this game coming into it, we said, man, Houston gets penalized an awful lot and the Colts did not. Houston had 10 penalties, Colts had 6, which is not that big of a disparity. But still, it was a factor in the game. There were several drives that were altered by a penalty on Houston's behalf. And then beyond that, when you are able to generate a pass rush, move Deshaun Watson off a spot, and force him to make throws, you're going to get turnovers. The Colts did that. They got big plays, just big plays all over the defense. Jabal Sheard was a one-man wrecking ball. Autry had just a heck of a sack. When you really look at this Colts defense, you really look at it as the sum of the parts, right? But there are outstanding players in my eyes, and like I said, Jabal Sheard, Darius Leonard come to mind immediately. But then also, really Pierre Desir, Rock Ya-Sin, Kari Willis, Ben Banigou, just saw plays coming from all over that defense to really limit the Houston Texans after the catch, and really even managed to do really well against the run. So Houston, 24 carries for 100 yards on the nose, right? But still have not yet to give up a 100-yard rusher, and I know that's a meaningless statistic, but still it belongs in the narrative of the game. What it really comes down to it is when you know guys like DeAndre Hopkins are just going to get their opportunities and are really good after the catch, you just have to make sure that you limit their downfield ability. And really, DeAndre Hopkins' longest play of the game came in the fourth quarter for 21 yards. And really, if you want to talk about players that really kind of burnt the Colts, it was Kenny Stills, right? A 2019 pickup for the Texans, had four catches for 105 yards. Outside of that, the Colts really did do a good job of limiting big plays. And it certainly today didn't really feel like the Colts were playing that bend don't break defense, right? It really felt like they were playing smash mouth defense, because when you really think about the bad field position the Colts offense gave to the Colts defense, in the first half, the Colts were playing out of their end zone defensively for most of that first half and allowed field goals only. And I had spoken about how the Texans offense is really good in the red zone. Deshaun Watson's great in the red zone, and that didn't happen today. They were 2 for 5 in the red zone. The Colts were 4 for 4 in the red zone, scoring touchdowns. So obviously here we are. Colts are 4-2, a game up in their division, and currently the second seed in the AFC. And it's a kind of an "I told you so" situation, right? Told you, even with the loss of Andrew Luck, still a great football team, still capable of great things. As far as the Colts go, didn't see a ton of glaring injuries, whereas Houston had several guys go down. So it really be interesting to see. Colts get the Broncos next week, who just got housed by the Chiefs 30-6 on Thursday. So obviously super excited. Colts are in an enviable position in the lead in their division, appear to be relatively healthy and only getting better. Everybody seemed to be willing and able to contribute today. Rookies are getting considerable playing time, making great plays, and that's always a good thing to see. Of course, this has been Jared with Stampede Blue. This is your Indianapolis Colts post-game wrap. Enjoy the rest of the games today, and we'll see you next week, okay?